This is the weekend edition of iFIBER One News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Bethany Jenks. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of iFIBER One News.
From the iFIBER One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER One News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories for this week was how some folks in Soap Lake started their week by listening to running water.
Residents along Main Avenue West in Soap Lake got a rude awakening Monday morning as hundreds of gallons of water were flowing out of a busted line. Local resident Harry Baumeister first noticed it around 7:30, but public works workers out on their morning patrol of the lift stations and booster pumps spotted it about an hour later and immediately went to work. Breaking out the backhoe, it took about 2 hours to find the culprit, a failed cork stop valve. Cork stop valves are designed to prevent excess water flowing into home systems. Workers said the valve was old and failure was imminent. The repair took little more than an hour, which means lakefront residents will have access to water without further delay. The patching of the asphalt will be done later. In Soap Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER One News.
Families in Ephrata attended a carnival to help a fellow student, Trevor Middleton, in his fight against cancer.
Families mobbed Ephrata's First Presbyterian Church on Saturday for the Mothers of Preschoolers sponsored carnival to raise money for an Ephrata boy with cancer. All proceeds from the event went to Team Trevor and the family of Trevor Middleton, who was diagnosed with leukemia and underwent treatment this year. Stephanie Moore, leader of Mothers of Preschoolers in Ephrata, explained why the group was putting on the event at the church.
Audra Middleton had run our MOPS in this area for a long time. She actually got me involved. And we heard that Trevor was going through a hard time and we wanted to help out. We usually do a fundraiser in the fall. And so we thought, well, what a great idea. Why don't we have a fundraiser but then donate everything to Audra to help her out and her family out.
MOPS provides support to mothers with infants to kindergarten-age children. Moore said the carnival raised almost $900 donated by about 150 kids and families. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER One News.
People living in the Moses Lake Irrigation and Rehabilitation District had a chance to learn more about candidates running for a position on the board of directors.
It was an afternoon of questions and answers at the Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce Tuesday as the two candidates vying for a spot on the Moses Lake Irrigation and Rehabilitation District Board of Directors, Chris Dexter and Tom Bennett, took part in a forum with community members. The forum was sponsored by both the Chamber and Vision 2020, and the candidates took questions from both the panel and those in attendance. Dexter was appointed to the board following the resignation of Ken Kernan in September. Either Dexter or Bennett will serve the final year of Kernan's 3-year term if elected. The candidates were asked to cover topics ranging from the state of the North Dam to bringing back the Water Institute, the MLIRD's role in the community, and how revenue, resources, and equipment are allocated. The election of the MLIRD Board of Directors is Tuesday, December 9th, with voting booths open at the MLIRD office on Wheeler Road from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER One News.
As Christmas gets closer, a group at the American Legion Hall in Moses Lake is working to finish their remodeling project.
Remodeling work on American Legion Post 209 in Moses Lake should be ready for family Christmas dinner. Joe R. Hooper Post Commander Richard Rader says the 1930s-era post's newly added banquet room should be open by then. Rader says the banquet room comes with an accessible ramp leading from the recently paved parking lot overlooking Moses Lake.
We have our heat, gas heat, and air conditioning, and the thermostat is already set for temperature in the heat in here. We got our outside lights underneath the windows there set, and we're getting our alarm system already set up.
One of 2 restrooms has been remodeled. The lodge's exterior has been repainted. Much of the work has been donated, including materials for floors and walls donated by Home Depot through a $16,000 grant. Another individual donated $5,000 for tables and chairs for the new room. Rader said Basin Heating and Electric donated a discount on the heating and air conditioning system and donated ducting under the floor outright. Most of the labor on the American Legion Hall's remodeling was donated.
If we were to have labor work, we couldn't have all this if it wasn't donated.
I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
Now we take a look at people being sought by the Grant County Sheriff's Office.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We will be right back after this.